While most plants may be able to skate by in life by lounging in the dirt and photosynthesizing, when zombies are on your lawn in Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare, even the toughest tubers need some strategy. Get your roots down into these tips and use them to turn your fetid foes into heaps of sweet, sweet compost. The plants, for the most part, are all about keeping the zombies at a distance. No class embodies this more than the king of long-range PvZ firepower, the Cactus. Those red needles sting badly, worse if you tag the zombie in its head, and it's your job to watch over the main lanes of ingress to protect your garden and shoot down any zombie head drones that hover your way. Keep in mind that each of your shots has a tracer, though, so any zombie with half a brain will know where to find you. Set up obstacles for would-be flankers by laying down some tallnuts and dropping a potato mine behind them. Hopefully, your enemies will shamble over the barrier and blow themselves to chunky bits. This is also a great move to pull if you're fleeing zombies as well, dropping mines, barriers, and more mines to make the pursuit perilous. Maximizing your abilities is key to PvZ victory, so let no mine go unlaid. Oh, and don't forget about that hideous garlic drone that you have in your prickly pockets. It goes down easily, so avoid drawing direct attention and fire at enemies that are already engaged with fighting your allies. If you wait a few seconds before flying into the fray, your airstrike ability will be ready just in time for you to rain hot corn death upon the zombie menace. The Peashooter is the other offensive powerhouse in the plant's platoon, as the main pea shot boasts good distance, accuracy, and splash damage. With a sunflower at your back, you're one of the deadliest vanquishers on the block, especially with a well-timed chili bomb. Those big red beans stick out pretty prominently, so take advantage of distracted groups or slowed zombies for easy victims, or use your hyper to scoot around the flank and surprise your rotten foes. Hyper is also important for taking the fight to the zombies in gardens and graveyards. If you can find that teleporter and keep them from building it, you'll force them to waste precious time shambling from their spawn point. Use Hyper with frequent jumps to make it hard for your enemies to track you, and then lay waste to any engineers that come within range. As for rooting down as a Gatling Peashooter, you'll want to reserve that for longish distances and for shutting down routes commonly walked by the dead. Healing Peashooters is a noble goal for sunflowers, and the heal beam has a really quick cooldown, so you can pretty much use it whenever you need it. And don't forget that sunflowers can use their primary weapon while heal beaming to support the team's organic offensive. Just don't get too cocky and put yourself out on the front lines, because you are a fairly delicate little sunflower. Hanging back a bit will also position you well for reviving allies, which you can do extra quickly, and which is super important for your defensive efforts, and super mega important in Team Vanquish, where each revive is a point stolen from the zombies. If the shambling horrors are still at a distance, though, go ahead and pot yourself and beam happy sunshine rays of death right into their undead eyeballs. Throw down a heal flower to increase your longevity, and it's cute and, pretty helpful also. Last but not least, the weirdest weed in the bunch, the Chomper. With no projectile weapon and a penchant for chompery, it's a whole different game when you play the purple plant. You can take out any zombie player with a single chomp, provided you sneak up behind them and see that red target appear on them. This gets easier if you burrow, as zombies might not see you or might not be able to maneuver away fast enough. And if you burrow and remain absolutely still, you'll be completely undetectable until the moment of chomp. This toothy, salivating swallow is one of the most satisfying moves in the game, but it leaves you vulnerable because it takes time to choke down all that festering flesh. If you can slow nearby enemies with goop before you chomp, you stand a better chance of survival, and laying down spikeweed traps as you flee is a good way to hinder your pursuers. As long as you save a spikeweed for desperate escapes, you should feel free to throw them down as often as you can. Properly timed abilities can be a big difference maker, but unused abilities are like so many unsown seeds, never to bear fruit and destined to be eaten by birds, somehow. Most plants are better at range, so keep your distance and coordinate your firing lines. Stick with your teammates, revive your teammates, and celebrate victory by dancing with your teammates. Plant power!